I hear when you're in Tokyo, you gotta stop by for some tempura. And I heard this place is really good. This is Tempura Sunahachi. Let's go check it out. I think I'm gonna go for the set of 12 different tempuras. So apparently when eating tempura, there's a system. They usually give you some salt, grated radish, and tsuyu sauce. And there's 3 ways to eat it. One is you pour the tsuyu sauce over the grated radish and then dip the tempura in there. Another way is to put some salt on a plate and dip the tempura in there and eat it that way. The chef has just indicated to me that that's our complete tempura platter. So everything you see here is going to be made into tempura. So I see scallops, fish, shrimp, there's green peppers, eggplant, lotus roots, and what looks like seaweed wrapped rice. Look, it's still moving, it's so fresh. Oh my goodness. You guys might have heard me scream a little bit. That's because the 2 shrimps that's going to become our tempura jumped like a foot into the air. So of course I reacted in the only way I knew how. Scream like a little girl. The first thing that comes to my plate is the shrimp head. Take my tsuyu sauce, like they mentioned, and pour it over my radish. Mix that up, dip my shrimp head in there. I'll never look at shrimp head the same way again, ever. Next, I'm just gonna take a little salt, put it on my plate. Different types of salt here. And wasabi salt. Touch the tempura to the salt. It's like eating the freshest shrimp cracker. Hey guys, I'm talking in a really low voice because it's really quiet in here. So I don't want to really disturb anyone else's meal. Next is the body of the shrimp. First one, dip it into my radish and sauce. I'm gonna just eat the whole thing with the tail. Does not get fresher than that. You saw it, that shrimp was literally jumping. It had a lot of energy. Next, I'm gonna touch my tempura and the seasoning. I like it better without the sauce. Such a nice clean flavor of the shrimp comes through. That is not like any tempura. And if you're like me and your experience with tempura is basically what you've had in the States and what they usually put in your udon noodles, then this is gonna blow your mind. The breading is so delicately thin and it's cooked absolutely perfectly. Next up is the calamari. It's like I'm eating this fresh from the ocean. So clean and light, not oily at all. I mean, it's fried, not oily at all. The sea urchin, if you watch my past video, I didn't really love it. I feel like it tastes too much like the ocean. Let's see what the tempura version tastes like. Wow, okay. It still tastes like the sea, but the flavor profile is much cleaner. The seaweed is fried to a perfect crisp on the outside. It's much better than what I had before. Next up, we have green pepper and fish. Let me dip a small piece into my sauce. So it's got a little emotional right there. Melts in your mouth. Doesn't even begin to describe what happened here. That fish evaporated. It went in my mouth and then somehow, I don't even know what happened. I know I didn't chew and it was in my stomach. It's the lightest fish tempura I've ever had. That's amazing. Let's try the pepper. That pepper did a couple things. First of all, it was delicious. Secondly, it kind of served as a palate cleanser so you can move on to the next item. And the next item is here, and it looks beautiful. This is scallops. It looks like it's cooked medium. Give you some lemon. Wow. That's so beautiful. The scallop is naturally sweet with just that thin little layer of batter that's perfectly fried so you get that nice crunch before you bite into the succulent, fresh scallop meat. I did not know tempura could be like this. Look at this glistening eggplant. That is just a thing of beauty. I can see my reflection in here. Let's start off with the lotus root. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I love lotus root. It's one of my favorite things to stir fry, one of my favorite things to have in a hot pot. Never had it fried. It's crispy on the outside, still very crunchy on the inside. This is a good way to get me to eat my veggies. Eggplant. It feels like I bit into a fruit. The juice just flowed out of this thing. And you know it's fresh because I can see the vegetables behind the chef. This is fried eel. I'm really not a big fan of eel. I've had eel barbecue, didn't like it that much. I don't know, it's not my thing. There we go. This is way better than the Korean barbecue version. First of all, the meat looks absolutely beautiful. Look how flaky white it is. And one thing I didn't really like about this when I had it last time was how fishy the eel flavor was. But after this is fried, I can still tell it's eel, but the super fishy flavor of it has been brought down a lot. Next up is a whole clam, and the chef told me no sauce and you just eat it as it is. This is really cool because the clam is in a clam shell and the clam shell is in a clam plate. Let's try to fit this into one bite. My favorite. This is my favorite. This is the best one. Everything is still lightly crispy because of the tempura batter. So I think what they did here was they added sauce to the clam. So the sauce is fried into the clam. Absolutely delicious. Best thing I had tonight. I mean, everything has been wonderful, but this is the highlight. This was spectacular. This is the last item. It looks like a bunch of shrimp fried together into like a tempura shrimp cloud. This is absolutely amazing. There's about, I think, 8 or so shrimp in here, and the shrimp is so fresh and crisp. I mean, just look at this beautiful thing. The shrimp is perfect. Like I said before coming in here, tempura to me was just some soggy breaded shrimp that you put in udon. Never could I have imagined how light, airy, fluffy, fresh, and delicious it could be. See, this is exactly why I travel. Because often we develop notions of what other nations' foods taste like without going to the source and trying it for ourselves. And although I know about and I talk about authentic Chinese cuisine a lot because that's what I'm familiar with, I've also fallen victim to judging other cultures' cuisine, I guess, based on what little exposure I've had to it in the States. I've been eating, I guess, the Panda Express version of Japanese food all my life. And even before I walked in here, my local friends say, when you're in Tokyo, you gotta try tempura because that's what they're known for. In the back of my head, I was like, all right, can I really make a meal out of tempura? Like, how much fried shrimp could I eat? But I'm glad I came here because this turned out to be such a wonderful, eye-opening experience. Something else I noticed, I just had a 12-course of tempura. Everything was fried, everything was battered, and typically if I did that, I should feel pretty grossed out. I should feel like there's an oil drum in my stomach, but I don't feel excessively full. My stomach doesn't feel heavy nor oily. Also, one thing I learned today, tempura, it is not cheap. Because in the States, you know, you get a tempura shrimp, that's like $1 or $2 at most. But here, the 12-course meal I had, I think it was close to 80,000 yen. That's about 70, 75 US dollars. Personally though, I think it's absolutely worth it. You should definitely try it if you are ever in Tokyo. And honestly, I don't even know if the place I came to tonight, if it's like one of the better tempura places in Tokyo, I have no idea. But I'll put their information for you guys in my description box and you can try it for yourself and let me know how you like it. That's it for this meal. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.